Hi, it's Tatiana the doula. I just figured I'd knock out the last packet of notes. This is the ninth packet of notes, and it accompanies section 5A of the course. So, getting right into it, lactation counselor training course notes for 5A. During pregnancy, families should learn about the importance of exclusive breastfeeding. Risk reduction does not equal prevention. While breastfeeding reduces disease risk in the population, it does not provide 100% protection from illness for an individual. Many factors contribute to disease risk, including nutrition, infant feeding choices, genetic and environmental influences. Postpartum community resources, frequent feeding and having enough milk, breastfeeding management such as responsive feeding, rooming in, and skin to skin. To support exclusively breastfeeding in the community, we need interventions to be delivered in a combination of settings by involving health systems, home and family and community environment concurrently. Systematic review indicates that programs that support mothers in the postpartum period in their homes and extend over a relatively long period are the most successful in increasing exclusive breastfeeding rates. Skilled assessment and comprehensive intervention when breastfeeding is not working well. Available, culturally competent lactation care and services for all families. If only hospital formula introduction were eliminated, the black and white gap in breastfeeding duration could be reduced by 20% of the overall difference. Black women not only have lower rates of breastfeeding compared with white women, but they are also disproportionately affected by triple-negative breast cancer and aggressive subtype. Reducing breastfeeding disparities could decrease the incidence of aggressive breast cancers among Black women. There could be a reduction in the disparity of breast cancer mortality. To support exclusive breastfeeding, we also need community ownership of the need for support throughout the breastfeeding experience, task forces, and coalitions. Remember, trying to support breastfeeding by telling the family prenatally about problems could decrease the desire to try breastfeeding. We need to focus on ongoing support. That's crucial to breastfeeding duration and exclusivity. Breastfeeding support works best when we reach out to families rather than waiting for them to contact us. Anticipatory guidance, timely, proactive interventions to help mothers tune into baby ages and stages. Reactive support, in which families are expected to initiate the contact, is unlikely to be effective. Face-to-face support strategies are more likely to succeed. Mothers rate social support more important than healthcare system support of breastfeeding. Ideally, this can happen in informal settings. Common newborn attributes: no apparent schedule to their life, night feedings. Frequency days may be noted if mother have gotten off to a difficult or scheduled start or baby needs to catch up. These are not growth spurts. Normal newborn expectations: 10 to 12 feedings per 24-hour time period, several bowel movements each day from day 2 through the first 6 weeks and beyond for most babies, 4 on 4, several wet diapers daily. Urinations do not equal wet diapers. Exclusive. So I put a question mark here. I meant to revisit that. Exclusive breastfeeding. According to UNICEF, the United States Breastfeeding Committee, and other national and international organizations, exclusive breastfeeding should continue until about 6 months of age. Although infants should be managed individually, no apparent risk in recommending as general policy exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months in both developing and developed country settings. Vitamin K should be given shortly after birth. No supplementary fluoride during the first 6 months. Complementary food rich in iron and zinc starting at 6 months of age. Supplementation of oral iron drops before 6 months may be needed to support iron stores. Premature infants should receive both a multivitamin preparation and an oral iron supplement until they are ingesting a completely mixed diet and their growth and hematologic status are normalized. All breastfed infants routinely should receive an oral supplement of vitamin D, 400 IUs per day, beginning at a hospital discharge. In the U.S., 36% of mothers and 58% of babies are deficient. 20 that could be higher too for black moms, higher deficiency in vitamin D. 28% of pregnant women with lower serum vitamin D, less than 30.5 nmol per liter, have a cesarean birth, compared with 14% of women levels of 37.5 or greater. Lower vitamin D levels may be associated with GDM. According to the IFPS-2, how many babies were getting the recommended amount of vitamin D? Only 5 to 13% of exclusively breastfed infants, only 9 to 14% of mixed-fed infants, only 20 to 37% of exclusively formula-fed infants. They are getting 1 liter of fortified formula a day. During pregnancy, vitamin D is stored, passed to the fetus, and if the stores are adequate, then to the baby via breastfeeding. The sun is the main source of vitamin D for humans. Reproductive women need to have enough vitamin D from conception to delivery for the best chance that their neonates will enter infancy with sufficient vitamin D. Supplementation during pregnancy and lactation may improve vitamin D status of both mother and nursling. 4 to 6 months distractible. May need to move to a quieter place, regular naps, separation anxiety, night feedings, teething. Sore nipple, well, teething is a header, and then there's all these sub notes. Sore nipples can happen when baby's saliva changes and gets new enzymes around the same age as teething. Babies may nurse much more or much less. Offer cold teethers before nursing to numb the mouth. If baby is nursing less and milk is causing compression, maintain milk supply by relieving fullness. Babies may also have runny noses and difficulty breathing at this time. Starting solids. Complementary feeding, according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, refers to anything other than breast milk and infant formula. Both solids and liquids that are needed when milk feeds alone are no longer sufficient to meet the nutritional requirements of infants. Overall, 40.4% of all mothers introduce solid foods before age. 4 months in spite of the around 6 months recommendation, 24.3% for breastfeeding mothers. Breastfeeding mothers said, "My baby was nursing too much, was hungry. I didn't have enough milk. It would help my baby sleep through the night." Starting complementary feeding at around 6 months is not like starting solids with a younger baby, since they are developmentally ready to use their hands. Six to 9 months. They are mobile, teething, regular naps, night feedings, playful, long periods of concentration, biting. Need to explore why. Teething, playfulness, falling asleep. Watch baby closely and take off breast before biting starts. Calmly say no, end the feeding. Offer breast at next regular feeding. 9 to 12 months, stand and walk. Regular meal times and snack nursings. Nursing before bed and naps. Before breastfeeding through the first year. Supports toddler energy and growth by fostering a shared mother-infant regulation of toddler food intake. Promotes a pattern of mother-child interaction during feedings that acknowledges the child's role in regulating food intake. After 15 months, part of self-image. My blanket, my car seat, my boob. Time to think of a public name. After 2 years in the U.S., closet nursing, normal in other cultures. It's changing. 3 human strategies for ending breastfeeding. Parent-led. Choose least favorite nursing. Substitute something equally good in the eyes of the child. Watch for reactions, physical and emotional. Wait and repeat. Baby-led. Babies older than 12 months stop offering to nurse and change to on request only. Society-led. Historical way of weaning described by anthropologists and historians as usually from 2 to 3 to 7 years. Same for everyone in society. Everyone knows and expects. Ritual and celebration. Not a matter of when, but rather about the feelings about ending breastfeeding. Professional role in weaning. Understand the difference between stopping trying to make breastfeeding work, a planned ending of breastfeeding, and unplanned ending of breastfeeding. Acknowledge emotions. Be a good listener. Nursing strike. Sudden. There is milk. Not the end of breastfeeding, but may be thought to be the end. Reason for strike may be obscure, and there is something wrong in the baby's life. But there is something wrong in the baby's life. Stuffy nose, teething, ear infection, prefers bottle, biting and yelling, reaction to being left unattended to cry it out, family stress, separation. To end a nursing strike, identify and resolve the problem. Lots of support, lots of skin contact, don't force it, avoid the bottle, offer breast to sleeping baby, try peer pressure. Sleeping through the night, regulatory problems, crying, feeding, and sleeping co-evolve, particularly in the first 4 months. From about 4 months of age, sleep is consolidated in the nighttime, although 94% of babies wake up to 3 times a night and are awake in the day, except for 1 to 4 naps. High quality random control studies have demonstrated that behavioral intervention programs fail to help and may actually increase parental stress and infant crying. Parents of infants 3 months old who were breastfed in the evening and or at night slept an average of 40 to 45 minutes more than parents of infants given formula and reported less sleep disturbance. With infants 6 to 9 months, no difference in night waking or night feedings compared to formula-fed infants. Infants who received more milk or solid feeds during the day were less likely to feed at night, but not less likely to wake. Daytime interventions for nighttime problems. No associations have been found between uninterrupted infant sleep, mental or psychomotor development, or maternal mood. Sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Babies should be placed in safe environments and on the back for sleep. Breastfeeding has a protective effect against SIDS beginning at 2 months and increasing over time. Exclusive breastfeeding at 1 month of age halve the risk of SIDS. Gut microbiome in babies who died from SIDS offers one explanation. CI difficile in guts of 27% of babies who died of SIDS versus 7% in healthy controls. The BFHI promotes, protects, and supports breastfeeding through the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding for hospitals as outlined by UNICEF and the WHO. The current steps for the United States are 1. Have a written breastfeeding policy that is routinely communicated to all healthcare staff. 2. Train all healthcare staff in skills necessary to implement this policy. 3. Inform all pregnant women about the benefits and management of breastfeeding. 4. Help mothers initiate breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth. Key ideas. Immediate skin-to-skin, uninterrupted, and continuing into the completion of the first feeding. 60% of neonatal death could be prevented if all infants were breastfed from day 1. Skin-to-skin and safe sleep suggestions to improve safety have been developed by the AAP. 5. Show mothers how to breastfeed and how to maintain lactation even if they are separated from their infants. 6. Give newborn infants no food or drink other than breast milk unless medically indicated and follow the code. 7. Practice rooming in. Allow mothers and infants to remain together 24 hours a day. 8. Encourage breastfeeding on demand. Encourage responsive feeding. The 4 parenting dimensions of responsive parenting are feeding, soothing, sleep, and physical activity. 9. Give no pacifiers or artificial nipples to breastfeeding infants. 10. Foster the establishment of breastfeeding support groups and refer mothers to them on discharge from the hospital or clinic. Support for the international code is built into the BFHI. Only scientific and factual information can be provided by companies for health professionals. All information on artificial feeding, including labels, should explain the benefits of breastfeeding and the costs and hazards of artificial feeding. Effect of the BFHI on infant abandonment. Research the rate of infant abandonment 6 years before and 6 years after encouraging early contact, suckling, and rooming as part of implementing the BFHI in St. Petersburg, Russia. Rate of abandonment was almost half. A similar hospital had a 32% increase over the same time period. Probit trial, prospective cluster randomized trial in hospitals and polyclinics in the Republic of Belarus. 16 sites implement the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. More likely to breastfeed to any degree at 12 months. More likely to be exclusively breastfeeding at 3 months and at 6 months. Less likely to have gastrointestinal infections. Less likely to have atopic eczema. At 6.5, the experimental group had higher means on all of the Wechsler abbreviated scales of intelligence measures, with the mean differences 95% confidence intervals of plus 7.5 verbal IQ, plus 2.9 for performance IQ, and plus 5.9 for full scale IQ. Teachers' academic ratings were significantly higher in the experimental group for both reading and writing. At 11.5 years, they found a reduction in problematic eating attitudes in the areas where exclusive breastfeeding was promoted via the BFA Probit intervention. At age 16, they found a relationship between problematic eating and obesity. BFA Shy. Implementation of the Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative may be the fast-track option to a foundation of enhanced public health. Leverage points for the BFHI. Recognition of excellence enhances the facility status, supports Joint Commission's perinatal core measure set, supports the facility's community benefit strategy, cost neutral, recognizes prevention as a key strategy to improve the health of our nation. And that is the end of the 9th packet, the notes for 5A. Thank you for listening. I hope that these readings were helpful. Now that I'm looking through it, I went through all of them. Actually, the packets are running between 15 to 30 minutes, so no longer than that, it seems to be. So I hope that these packets have helped. Feel free to listen to them anytime. I hope that it, listening to them helps to get some of the information ingrained in you. As far as the videos and the questions that come after the videos, I can't really help in that way. They tell us to go to the office hours, but honestly, that's not going to be helpful for the actual multiple choice questions. And so I don't know what the remedy is for that, except making flashcards maybe with those questions, or making a multiple choice quiz out of these packets. It may help. But I wish that there was a better way, and I wish that they offered a better way than this. So I did my best to support. Please reach out. My email, you can send an email to info@doulasforthepeople.com or TatianaSmithDoula@gmail.com. Thank you.